Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, we'll be diving into a comprehensive guide to property conveyance. We'll explore the legal processes involved, the key instruments used, the parties that take part, and the risks you need to be aware of when transferring property ownership. Whether you're a professional in real estate or simply interested in understanding how property transactions work, this session is designed to give you a clear and thorough understanding. Let's get started. Conveying property refers to the legal process of transferring ownership or an interest in real estate from one person or entity to another. This step is crucial because it formally establishes who has the rightful claim to the property. It's not just about handing over the keys. It's about ensuring that the new owner's rights are recognized and protected by law. When conveyance is done properly, it helps avoid future disputes over ownership and makes any legal claims on the property clear and enforceable. Essentially, it brings clarity and security to property transactions. When we talk about types of property conveyance, there are several key methods to understand. First, we have the sale, which is the most straightforward. This involves transferring property in exchange for money. Next is a gift, where the owner voluntarily transfers ownership without any payment involved. Then there's inheritance, which occurs when property is passed down after the owner's death, often through a will or by law. Another type is lease transfer, where the leasehold interest, the right to use the property under a lease, is assigned to someone else. Lastly, mortgage conveyance is when property is transferred as security for a loan, essentially using it as collateral. Each type serves different purposes, but all are fundamental ways property ownership or rights can change hands. When it comes to transferring property, several legal instruments come into play. First, conveyance of property depends on formal legal documents that clearly outline the transfer. One of the most important is the warranty deed, which guarantees the buyer a clear title and shields them from any defects or claims against the property. On the other hand, we have quitclaim deeds, which simply transfer whatever interest a grantor holds, without providing any warranties or guarantees. Besides these deeds, other documents like bills of sale, contracts, and mortgage papers are also crucial in the process. It's essential that all these instruments are carefully drafted and properly recorded to ensure the ownership transfer is legally effective and binding. Let's walk through the conveyance process step by step. First, we have the offer and acceptance stage, where both parties agree on the terms of the transfer. This agreement sets the foundation for everything that follows. Next is a contract execution, which involves signing a binding purchase or transfer agreement, making the deal official and legally enforceable. After that comes the title search. This is a crucial step where public records are examined to confirm that the seller has clear ownership and there are no outstanding claims or liens on the property. Then, we move to the preparation of the deed, which is drafting the legal document that actually conveys title from the seller to the buyer. Finally, we have the signing and registration. Here, both parties formally sign the deed, and then it's recorded with the appropriate government office. This recording makes the transfer of ownership official and public record. Each of these steps is essential to ensure a smooth and legally sound conveyance process. When we talk about conveyance, several key parties are involved. First, there's the seller, also known as a grantor, who is the current owner transferring the property rights. Then, we have the buyer or grantee, who is the individual or entity receiving ownership. Attorneys play an important role as well. They prepare, review, and advise on all the legal documents and transactions to ensure everything is done correctly. Finally, title companies step in to conduct thorough title searches and issue insurance, which guarantees that the ownership is legitimate and help protect against any potential disputes down the line. Each of these parties plays a crucial role in making sure the conveyance process runs smoothly and securely. When we talk about common issues in conveyance, one major concern is title defects. These occur when there are errors in the title, unknown heirs come forward, or any claims arise that cloud who truly owns the property. Next, we have liens and encumbrances. These are outstanding debts or restrictions tied to property that can affect its transfer or value. Another critical risk is fraud. This can happen through unauthorized transfers or misrepresentations about the property's status. Finally, failure to register the property after transfer is a serious issue. If the conveyance is not properly recorded, The new owner may lose important legal protections, making it vulnerable to disputes. Each of these risks highlights why careful attention to detail is essential in the conveyancing process. Proper conveyance is crucial for several reasons. First, it secures legal ownership, making sure that your rights to the property are clearly recognized and enforceable. This is fundamental to avoid any uncertainty about who truly owns the property. Second, proper conveyance helps prevent disputes and litigation. When the transfer is done clearly and correctly, it significantly reduces the chances of conflicts over property rights down the line. Third, establishing marketability is key. A clean and properly documented title makes it much easier to sell or finance property in the future. On the other hand, if conveyance procedures are not followed correctly, ownership could be questioned, which could lead to costly legal problems. So, ensuring the conveyance process is done right protects your investment and peace of mind. When it comes to real-life examples of conveyance, the first one that comes to mind is a residential sale. This is where the legal transfer of a home occurs, and it typically involves several important steps, like drafting and signing contracts, conducting title searches to ensure the property is free of liens, and finally, registering the deed to officially record the new ownership. Next, we have commercial property transfers. These tend to be more complex due to the higher value of the properties and the increased regulatory scrutiny they face. The agreements involved here are often detailed and complicated, requiring careful negotiation and thorough legal review to navigate successfully. Finally, for any conveyance to be successful, attention to both the legal details and practical considerations is crucial. Without carefully managing these aspects, the process can stall or encounter issues. So it's important to keep everything organized and compliant to ensure the transaction reaches completion smoothly. To wrap up, it's important to remember the different methods of transferring ownership, as this knowledge is crucial for effective property conveyance. Equally important is understanding the legal instruments and formal steps involved, which help ensure the transfer is done correctly and legally. We also need to be aware of the roles played by the key parties in the process, as well as the risks that can arise during conveyance. Finally, ensuring proper conveyance safeguards clear and enforceable ownership, helping to avoid potential disputes over property rights. These points together form the foundation of a sound property transfer process.